Are you looking to grow revenues, increase profitability, or obtain financing? If so, you came to the right place.
Running a business is all about leadership. How do you become a better leader? Learn from the successful entrepreneurs and business owners how to lead your organization more effectively. That's why we created Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business, to help you succeed with your host, Andrew Frazier, Business Growth Pro and CFO and founder of the Small Business Pro University. Every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're joined by experienced entrepreneurs and business owners who share their secrets to success via Livestream. Also, every Friday morning, we release a new podcast episode. Either way, you will learn about developing your business leadership skills from our roster of highly performing guest experts. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbprou.com.
Good evening and welcome to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. Hi, this is Andrew Frazier once again, and always excited to come and hang out with you on Tuesday evenings. This is one of my favorite times of the week because I get to sit down, kick back, and talk to some great people who are really knowledgeable about business and share their knowledge and expertise about how they can help you be more successful in business. So really tonight is all about you. So please feel free to comment. You're welcome to ask questions. We're live, so we can incorporate you into the conversation. So don't just listen or watch. You can be participating in the show. So once again, welcome. Special guest today is Michelle Calloway, and we're going to be talking about disruptive marketing strategies to get you noticed. At the end of the day, people buy from you because they know you, like you, and trust you. So the first thing that to know you, they have to know you're there. And there's so many things out there competing for people's attention that sometimes it's hard to get their attention to let them know that you have the solution that they need. So Michelle's going to talk to us about some key ways that you can be creative in being able to get in front of your target market. So very excited to have her today. So good evening, Michelle. Welcome. How's everything going?
It's going great, Andrew. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here to share what I have to share to help entrepreneurs.
Okay, no, great. I'm glad to have you here. You do a lot of tremendous stuff. Not only for profit, but not for profit. You've got your Tech with Heart Foundation up there. So we're going to learn a little bit more about that as we go. But it's important not just to make money, but to make a difference. And so that's something key that Michelle does. And she educates people as well on technology through her podcast. So definitely, she'll tell you a little bit more about that. I recommend you check it out. And I might have been a guest on there once. It was pretty cool. So thanks again, Michelle, for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you were an excellent guest because you serve the same audience. My foundation is all about empowering entrepreneurs to embrace technologies and systems and strategies so that they can stay competitive and relevant in today's digital landscape. It's a very quickly and rapidly changing landscape, so we want to help entrepreneurs sift through the noise and focus on what it is that they actually need to be paying attention to at the time that they need to be paying attention to it, and also who to trust as far as who can guide them.
Okay. Excellent. So, we've got you here. And before we get started, everybody has a unique journey. And based on your journey, you have a unique perspective and key things to share. So it helps for people to know, where you started and how you got to where you are now. So if you could take a few minutes to really chat about, sort of where you started, a little bit about key points in your journey and some things that you learned at those key points. And then, where are you now and what are you doing now? Sound good?
I love to share my story. It's actually my favorite thing to do. So my background is in visual communications. Think more of like a graphic designer, somebody who can take a message and turn it into a visual of some sort, like painting the picture of telling that same message, but in visual form. So that's my background. And then I was a graphic designer for the city of Reno for the longest time. And during that time, my husband got sick and ultimately ended up dying due to that illness. It was a long duration. It was a lot of testing of my faith. And through that journey of him getting sick and actually losing him, I ended up having like a whole new level of like dedication to whatever it is that my purpose is here. Like I wanted God to be the one to lead me to know what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And I told him I would just be all in with whatever he basically showed me that he wanted for me. I still am, I was a mom at that point, a single mom now of 2 girls, and I had to help them continue to work through the mourning process. We all had to work through that. But in about fast forward, not only did he send me another wonderful man to ended up who is now my business partner and husband, and just my best friend again. I actually started my own company with my friend who we were doing graphic design for small business owners, and I was loving it and I was content with it. And then in 2012, evidently God had something else in mind because he introduced me to a technology that was really fascinating. And for some reason, I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks, Andrew. When something grips you that hard and won't let go and won't let you sleep until you say, okay, fine, all right, I'll step into whatever this is and I will be all in with it. So the technology I'm talking about was augmented reality. It's a cousin of virtual reality. And essentially what it does is it makes marketing materials come alive. Like your business card can now come alive like Harry Potter right in front of your eyes and tell a story, tell your story, help people to understand who you are and why you do what you do and how you can help them. It's incredible. It was mind-boggling. And so it wasn't until I stepped into saying, okay, yes, I will step into now what a tech founder. I built my first prototype back in 2012. This wasn't something I necessarily was looking for, but here it was, very clear as day that it was my mission. And I didn't understand my mission in all of it until I saw the power of human connection when a soldier received a simple greeting card, a printed card that his girlfriend and I had created. And I created the graphics and she created the little video message. And when he received the card, he watched it come alive by holding his phone in front of the card. And he literally said it rocked him to his core. And he made the oceans between them disappeared. He was in Germany and she was in the US. And he said it made him feel so close to her, so closely connected to her that he did not want to be separated from this piece of paper again until his tour was over. So he carried it in his wallet every day while serving. That was powerful. And that's what gave me chills and helped me to realize that from losing my husband to now being called to step into this role of tech leader to build a technology in a way that it's simple to use, affordable to use, even grandparents can use it. It empowered me to know that my mission is to use technology as a way to bring people together. And, Andrew, that kind of set me on my path to build the Revealio augmented reality, which is our flagship product, to be what it is today. And we're still continuing to modify it to stay competitive and relevant, which is what I always teach our entrepreneur audience. So that is how I started in the Revealio side of things. And then when I was demonstrating the power of the augmented reality to small business owners, after the squeals of delight were over, they would all say the same thing. And that was technology is moving so fast that they can't possibly keep up with it. And it's overwhelming to them. So that is when I ended up having a vision. And Tech with Heart was that vision. I am to step into a leadership role now to be a friendly face, build a nurturing environment for small business owners to come to gather together, to ask good questions and feel like they're not going to be fed, oh, you have to work with me, and spend $20,000. They're actually going to be led to find things out on their own if that's the goal that they want or whom they can possibly work with. So we have a heart-centered forward-thinking, vetted entrepreneurial network that we are building within the Tech with Heart Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization. So that's kind of my story.
Okay, that's your story and you're sticking to it.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So no, I mean, definitely, it's interesting how, everybody's story twists and turns, and it ends up never being what you planned, but it also ends up generally being better than you planned. You go through the high highs and low lows as a business owner, but there's nothing like it. Um, you know, Definitely having a graphic design background, I'm sure serves you extremely well nowadays, given the marketing and everything. What are a few key things that you learned, and that you use from your graphics background and your design background nowadays, and what should people be thinking about in terms of their design?
I think that one of the key ways to be disruptive these days is indeed to focus on how can you make people feel something. I think that's critical. People are really craving an authentic connection. They really crave to basically have a story told to them, whether that can be done visually through a graphic of some sort that you design. Like I was just working today on something for the foundation. I was working on what they call a one sheet, because we are looking to try and get more sponsors for the foundation and donors. And so I have to paint that picture for the audience as far as what is the problem? What is our solution that we're bringing to the table, and how much impact have we already had, so they can see that kind of momentum. What is our track record in? And then also, what would be the benefit of them donating? Like, how is that going to further the mission, and kind of, paint that picture for them. So rather than just type that all up or put it in a spreadsheet of sorts, it's nice to create a beautiful story with that data. And so that is just like one tiny little thing that you can do, but it's an important one tiny little thing, right? Paint the picture. And so one of the other ways to really start getting noticed is to start taking bits and pieces of your story, bits and pieces of the questions that you're hearing a lot of your customers asking, jot these things down and break it out into like, what kind of key points can you make in a 15-second or 30-second short little video, right? Videos are crushing it right now, especially short form videos. And so that's another way to be incredibly disruptive in today's digital market, because there are all kinds of platforms who will continue to feed your content to people who are craving it and are noticing it or paying attention to it. And they will continue to feed that to them for free. Essentially, you do the work. So there's some possible effort costs associated from you doing the work of flipping on your camera. And with today's modern cell phones, pretty much everybody's got a really high quality video camera right in the pocket, right? So you might as well just start using it regularly and start letting people get to know, like, and trust you. Right, Andrew?
Definitely. It's really key to be able to recycle and reuse your content also. Being able, that allows you to get much further with what you do and make it last longer, as well as help your branding. So, you talked about augmented reality and how that's disruptive and how that differentiates you from others. And I guess you sort of ran into it. But talk a little bit about what the benefit that you're getting from it, how it changes, and you have a differentiated product in the augmented reality. Not everybody can have a differentiated product, but they can have a differentiated service or other piece to their offering. And if you can talk about that as well, that would be great.
Oh, absolutely. That's where I was going to go next. So, like, let's just say you are actively using video to help differentiate yourself out there in the digital noise, and also use it as a law of attraction, right? You're when you post videos, usually you post like a title of the video or something that's kind of like a keyword to the Google crawlers, right? You want to get served up to that particular audience around certain keywords that you know people are searching for. So that is a great way to get known through the digital noise and to stand out and separate yourself, because how many others in your industry are actively doing video marketing? Storytelling. Humans have thrived around storytelling for centuries. So that is the biggest takeaway today from my message, is to actively just flip on the camera and share whatever part of the journey you're at. Like if you're having an event, do a behind the scenes recording of what it takes to actually put on an event. People love that kind of stuff, and they actually will appreciate the event on a whole nother level. But one of the things that augmented reality does for small business owners who are looking to separate themselves again from the sea of competition, augmented reality is like getting you up and out of that sea. And now you're on a jet boat and you're just flying past everybody, because all of a sudden you're like in the spotlight on a whole nother plane, like a whole nother level. So I'm going to show you a demonstration and what augmented reality will do for everyone that utilizes it in a way that it introduces you to potential customers. It provides another level of influence that you can't get. You go to a network. Okay, so in the physical world or even virtual world, right? You go to a networking event and you get like 30 seconds to shine, right? You get 30 seconds to possibly introduce yourself in a way that's going to leave a memorable impression. Well, when I go to networking events, or even when I speak on stage, I actually will show people what I am able to do for them to help them with the problem that they may be having by showing them what I do. And here's an example. I'm going to show you something like my business card is going to come alive when I wave my phone in front of it using our augmented reality.
Michelle Calloway,
And it actually tracks on top of the physical marketing item. So in this case, it's a business card. And then these call to action buttons show up on my mobile screen that also allow people to tap on it. So usually what happens when I demonstrate this in person is people go, "Whoa, how are you doing that?" And they start to like touch the card and they wave their hand in between the card and the phone to identify if there's like, how is that happening? It's very magical. So what has just happened in that matter of seconds is that I pretty much impressed the socks off of them. I'm now looked upon as a leader in my industry because I just showed them what I do in a way that they've never seen before, and it blew their minds, right? That's typically the response. The other thing is that through the story, if they're listening, they hear the message, because sometimes people come into a networking event with a preconceived idea or an intention that they're very focused on, and you're going to have a hard time breaking down that barrier, if they have a barrier up at all. Like they're probably like, as soon as you mention the word that I'm in sales, whoop, they just tuned you right out. I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing here. But if you show them what you do by showing them your business card coming alive, talking about why you're the one to work with, let's just say in real estate, you're a real estate salesman or agent. Well, what's going to differentiate you from the sea of other real estate agents in your local area? Well, this could be that unique identifier to help you look way more forward thinking and innovative than other agents. So it uniquely sets you apart. That's influence. Influence is huge in the marketing world. You want to influence people enough, gain that awe and wonder if you can, and then let them talk to you a little bit more, because now you've got a captive audience, and help them to really sense your desire to help them. Because that's another thing, is that they need to not only be impressed with you, but they also need to get a sense that you really care about their success. And that's huge. So it is a wow factor, like foot in the door. And unlike anything else, I've actually had people call me 9-12 months after they met me at a networking event. They may have never bothered to watch this card come alive again, but they remembered that it came alive. And so they won't shred it. It's funny. They call me and they're like, "I can't do it. I know it comes alive. I can't throw it away, but it just made me call you and just remind you that I was just so impressed and wanted to see how you're doing." So there's there's that highly memorable factor that you also want as a business owner, right? You want to be so memorable. People will not ever stop talking about you.
Definitely. So, you want to stand out and be memorable. Sometimes it's easier than others. But, one thing I always say is, during the pandemic, we found that, there's things that you have to do to really be successful. You can get away with it. You were able to get away with it before the pandemic, but there's still things that everything you're doing during the pandemic, most of them you should have been doing already. And, I boil it down into three things: being proactive, being creative, and being flexible. So can you talk a little bit about how you've done that and how you've helped other people to be able to do that during the pandemic?
Well, the flexibility part, I think that it's been really important for small business owners to realize that the way that you do business 2 years ago is not at all the way you should be focusing on doing business now. So being agile and flexible, I feel like is the same thing. And the smaller actually that your business is, the easier it is for you to shift lanes a little bit. Like some people call it a pivot, because you just maybe have stepped aside to avoid that train wreck that was coming down your road. So you can be more agile and stay flexible. That's why I like to have people kind of stay tuned into the Tech with Heart and community, because we could potentially be a good compass or a guide to help you to navigate how you might need to start shifting directions a little bit. I know there's a lot of talk about the blockchain coming up, Web3, the metaverse. What does that all mean? We could potentially be a good source for that. And so I think it's important to not be so stuck in your ways, because maybe you feel like, okay, well, the way I've done business is still working even through the pandemic. Why should I change? And if it's working even through the pandemic, then obviously you've got something pretty solid, but that does not mean that it will always work. So it's always good to just kind of keep an ear bent on what's happening and stay tuned, especially regarding technology. Because if you're not doing business online right now, you're a brick and mortar mom and pop shop or something, maybe a deli on the corner. If you're not utilizing the power of the internet to drive traffic to your store, or at least allowing people to even place their orders online, you probably need to get there pretty quickly. Because when this metaverse does indeed launch, and it could be another 5 years, it could be 2 years, it could happen sooner rather than later. Do you want to be left in the lurch and enter so late in the game, that metaverse space, that you would be missing out on a tremendous amount of surge, perhaps that would have allowed you to scale your business to multiple locations? So you definitely need to stay agile and flexible in that regard. Did I answer your question, Andrew?
Okay. No, that was great. So, we've been covering some good stuff. We're going to take a quick break. We do this through the Small Business Pro University. So it's good to kind of share a little bit about what that really is and how it helps entrepreneurs and business owners like you. So we'll just take a quick 1-minute video, and then I'll be back with Michelle talking small business. Okay. So do you own your business, or does it own you? Is your business growing, and are you making enough money? As a business owner, there are so many things you need to know to become more successful. Hello, my name is Andrew Frazier, the Business Growth Pro and CFO. I created the Small Business Pro University for you. Small Business Pro University has self-paced, dynamic, multimedia learning experiences created by more than 20 instructors who are business owners just like you. Small Business Pro University will empower you to become a masterpreneur by learning the secrets to creating a successful enterprise, to go from working in your business to working on your business. Take advantage of our strategic coaching program, or just simply choose the courses that you need. At www.sbprou.com, we will empower you to thrive and not just survive, and make more money in any business environment. Okay. All right. Welcome back to Leadership Live at 8:05, talking small business. I'm here with Michelle Calloway, and we're talking about disruptive marketing strategies that can get you noticed. So Michelle, you talk a lot about technology. You help people understand the technology landscape, which is always changing. What are a few of the key technologies that you think every business owner needs to know about and can use to help their business be more successful?
Well, that's a great question, Andrew, and it really is going to depend upon where they're at and how new to the business game that they are. But some of the more basic systems technologies that you should be using for your small business is a CRM, which is a customer relationship management software. And there's a lot of free ones out there. I personally use HubSpot, and I think that it's got a lot of power. And what that does is it allows you to keep track of all of your contacts and leave notes. So each contact that you have made, you are able to leave yourself notes to. You can actually assign yourself tasks to reach out to that person. You can actually email straight from the CRM to that person. So there's a lot of power there. And then if you have different offerings, services or products, when that customer potentially purchases something, it can be automatically fed into the CRM as well, so you can track where they're at in the customer's journey, or the have they been onboarded successfully. So there's like a really great way you can track things there. So that's a CRM. That's one of the first things that you should have. And then the second one is, I'm a big component of utilizing the power of Google. I think Google, whether you love them or hate them, they're still one of the more powerful search engines in the world. So why not utilize some of the free resources that they offer to all small business owners to help you get not only noticed online World Wide Web, but also to get discovered in your local arena. And I mean, utilizing Google business profiles for free. Essentially, they give you like a free tiny little like website. You can also list your products and services right there. You can post regularly like a traditional website, and you can even host events, and they will help serve out that information to anybody that's looking. Mind you that you need to know what kind of keywords your target audience is searching for, but you can put all that on your Google business profile, especially your address and your phone number, because then Google will help you could be discovered when somebody's in your local area searching for a product or service that's related to what you offer. So you could actually end up in the top 3 of your local listings if you optimize your Google business profile properly. So that's another technology that I think everybody's should be using, and some of them are just underutilizing it. And then you post videos there. You can actually put a ton of videos on there, even like YouTube. You can put the same video on your Google business profile, put images there regularly, especially images of you, your customers happy about whatever it is they've done. Any video testimonials should all go there. And you can also ask people to leave a Google review right there, which indeed helps you with your social proof, the credibility piece in which you want to be seen as a leader and somebody that others recommend people doing business with. So that is a good source. And then the other one obviously is your website and social media. I think that you need to know where your target audience is hanging out as far as which social media you pay a lot of attention to. I know, Andrew, you're probably a big component of LinkedIn because it's more business centric when it comes to the social platforms. But know where your audience is, and then start joining groups on those platforms and being a regular contributor to conversations within the group. But don't go at social media as sales media. That's not what it's there for, and it turns people off. So the more you can be just coming in as an influencer, a thought leader, the better you're going to be with those platforms.
Excellent. So those are 3 great pieces. CRM, I use HubSpot as well, and Google. I was anti-Google for a long time, and I tried to survive without them, but they're just too good. So if you can't beat them, join them. So a couple of years ago, I just broke down and switched a lot of my stuff over to Google, and it's been good. So I got to say, definitely Google can do a lot for your business, and then having your website, using social media effectively. So one thing that I always like to have guests talk a little bit about, especially when they're on the marketing and sales side, is you know, that's the most important job of a business owner is marketing and sales. But most of them haven't ever been trained in it, or maybe even haven't done it before. So they're at a disadvantage. And many times they don't even realize that they need to continue to try and get better and better. So one of the first things is marketing's not sales and sales is not marketing. So what's the difference?
Marketing is essentially the different strategies that you deploy, like even creating content. Like I was talking earlier in this interview about how I was creating a one sheet, painting the visual picture of the Tech with Heart Foundation, and creating content like that, which I'm going to save as a PDF. That same exact content should always already exist on my website, because web pages are also content. So that's actually marketing, putting a website together. Marketing is what you put out there to the world and to your target audience. Even videos, graphics, social media, all of that is marketing, because ultimately that content, if done well, and if it resonates with your target audience, they will come to your home base, which should be your website, because you can own that, which you can't own Google, and you can't own social media. So I always recommend you have your own website, and you get them to engage with your website or call you or email you directly so that they can do business with you. That is the lead traffic generation. You're generating traffic from the World Wide Web to your website or your ONUS, however you want to use Google My Business as your website. You can just even start there. If you're new to business, I always recommend start there, then build your website. But start there, because at least you can start being discovered there. Sales is either that you can do digital sales, which it takes a little bit of savviness here, because you really need to be able to know, are you indeed solving that burning problem that your target audience is having? And are you offering your offer in a way that it actually overcomes all of their objections to the point where they actually will click buy now? If you've done that well, you can actually make a lot of sales with the one click, right? Like Amazon has created us a one-click economy. Everybody wants to just get it done, right? Just click, buy, boom, it's going to show up in a couple of days. So that is how you can make sales online, through the clicks of the buttons, and gets them into, a funnel, an onboarding funnel, so that once they've bought it, it makes sense now what they need to do, and they can do it themselves. But some of us are service providers, in which we provide a more sophisticated service that actually requires a consultation. So when they click to have that consultation and you get on the phone with them, or you meet with them over a Zoom call, that is when the sale needs to take place, and it doesn't always take place. So marketing is just getting them to you, and then the sales happen once they're there. So it can happen automatically, or it can happen through some conversations.
Okay, no, that's a great point. Marketing is a lot about the relationship, getting people to know, like, and trust you, and sales is really about converting them. So, they're two different things, and what I always find is the better you market, the easier it is to sell. And if you get good enough at marketing, you don't have to sell, because it takes care of itself. So investing in your marketing knowledge and investing the time in your marketing research and plan pays huge dividends. So
right, because if they don't find what they're looking for, there's like this 3-second gap between when they hear of you and they research you, that is actually going to help make their decision. So if you're doing your marketing well, like you said, then they're going to find an overabundance of information that's going to prove that you are indeed the one that they are looking for. And that will help debunk any objections down the road as they get closer to the price, because that also brings in what is the perception of value in the offering that you're putting out there. And so you need to really understand your target audience, their psyche, and also what are their objections. And you need to address all that online. So doing business in a digital world is very different than doing business in the old school way of just, brick and mortar. So there's a whole different psychology and dynamic at play.
Okay. Excellent. So, we're covering some really good stuff. I think that these are things that business owners need to hear and know. And, you're an experienced marketer, but I'm sure you always try to learn more and more about marketing. And, these experienced salespeople, I know they're always trying to learn how to sell better. So, even if you're experienced, you should be seeking all the knowledge you can, just because how important that is to the success of your business. So, what you're saying is extremely valuable. We're going to take a break real quick because I'm going to share some information about something that I have coming up that's pretty exciting. One thing I find is, so many business owners get stuck working in their business instead of working on their business. And as a result, some of these things are big issues for them. They end up working too many hours. You don't spend time with family. You can't take off. So, really figuring out how to run your business instead of having your business run you. So actually tomorrow afternoon at 2:00, I'm going to do a webinar about, how to work on your business instead of work in your business. So tomorrow, 2:00 Eastern, I'll put a link in the chat. It's free. And, these are some things that I'm going to talk about, many years working with a lot of business owners, and really have developed some strategies to help people to be able to do that. And here, I'll just show you a quick video about, what we'll be talking about, and then we'll come back talking small business with Michelle.
My first book is Running Your Small Business Like a Pro. And really, that took me 5 years to write. It was, your first book, as you know, is the hardest one.
Right, exactly. Let me take a...
But it really took the work of working with 500 plus business owners.
So 500, wow, that's great.
Looked at the patterns that I've seen and really broke down the things that they needed to know in terms of, how did they get where they are now? What's their most important job as a business owner? What is their greatest fear? And then, is it your employees, or are you crazy? Because, definitely managing people is a challenge for small businesses, and just, important things about financing and retirement, all those things that you need to know as a business owner, but where would you have learned them? Who's teaching you that? So many business owners don't know those things.
Okay, welcome back to Leadership Live at 8:05. I'm here with Michelle Calloway, and we're just hanging out this evening talking small business. Michelle's talking about some disruptive marketing strategies to get you noticed. And, that's really what it's all about. So when, like you said, every business is different. So how do you assess the best way to get a business noticed, when you're working with people? Do you have certain methodology or system that you use to sort of pull out key ways that you may be able to differentiate yourself, or sort of what are some of the things that you look at when you're doing it?
I definitely, listen to them to find out what is their goal, and also, do they fully understand their target audience? Do they, and based upon who they're serving, how they're serving them, and how big that audience is, and also the price point of what they're offering, I will suggest various ways to be a little bit more disruptive. Some of the things that I love to encourage clients to do is to remember how we use this technology, or whatever systems we're going to put in place. It really is, how are you making people feel? So I mentioned earlier, like when I'm networking, I love to show people what I do, because that gives them all kinds of feels when I demonstrate my card coming alive using augmented reality. But okay, let's just say that helped me influence somebody enough to want to hire me to be their marketing strategist, right? So then I will say, okay, look, now that you've, got your clients on board, what else can you do to make them feel continuously wonderful about working with you, to the point where they're now going to go and just brag you up to like 50 of their friends, or just keep on throughout the next few years, continuing to talk about you whenever anybody mentions a problem that they know you can solve. So building that brand loyalty, building that just huge customer satisfaction, these are all parts of it. So for instance, one of the things that I recommend doing, and not people are not doing it enough, but you can send your past clients or even community members, Andrew, like if you have a community like Tech with Heart, when new members enter, you can actually send them a welcome card. But with augmented reality, you can now make that card like come alive. So not only will you be in their living room introducing yourself or welcoming them into the community in a warm, friendly, way, like, hey, now I look forward to like really connecting and working alongside you. Then you could also turn that same card, that old school way of like just, writing a little simple thank you note, but now you can actually digitize it and make it all pretty automated, this process. You can turn that card that they open, and by the way, 100% open rate on greeting cards sent in the mail, just FYI. But when they do open that card and they do watch it come alive, then that card can be converted instantly through the augmented reality technology into a gift card. So now with augmented reality, you're able to take things to the next level, and you can make all of your marketing materials essentially gift card opportunities, where people would tap on a gift icon and go claim their free gift. It could be, 50% off of your upcoming event. It could be 50% off of this offering, in your store, and they tap on the virtual buttons that show up on their mobile phone, and voila, there they are. Isn't that amazing?
Okay, no, I mean, definitely. And the thing I really like about that is, a lot of people think that marketing is social media, marketing is online. You're actually using traditional tried and true marketing strategy. You're just being more creative and doing it in a more effective way. So, I always caution people not to forget about things that work, because it's all about your target market and the best way to find them and reach them. So
there's other things you can do that are only online too, that make people feel really valued, seen, and appreciated. That's huge in that human connection factor of getting them to not only want to be repeat customers, because once you get a customer, if you just really condition that customer, they will continue to be repeat customers, right? That's easy. You don't want to go out and have to go out and fish for new. You just kind of refresh the ones that you have and get them even more excited, because what you're doing is so uniquely different and you're making them feel valued. That's huge. So one of the things you can do as well is you can actually create a personalized video using a service like Loom, or there's others that are free, and you just create like a 15-second hi, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. And you can even do this ahead of meeting with somebody to whet their appetite about getting excited to meet you. So man, really showing people that they matter is huge in the realm of marketing. And there's such easy ways to do that. And so again, I'm just a huge component on video and storytelling, and using that human emotion for the connection. It goes above and beyond even just what it is that you do and how you can serve them. They realize that you are the person that they need because of what you offer, but they choose you because of who you are and how you made them feel.
Okay. And that really falls into the category of know, like, and trust. You marketing's goal should be to get people to know, like, and trust you, because that's really the keys if someone's going to buy from you. And you talked about, not only that, even if people who aren't your target market or aren't potential customers know, like, and trust you, they can still refer you people. And that's a much easier way to get a new customer than you going out on your own and trying to get a new customer. So, what does it take to really be able to get other people to refer you?
Well, so let's just say there's a lot of small business owners that are open to being a collaborative or a strategic partner or just a referral partner. They love what you do. They want to support you. They want to share what you do with others. So they're willing to make that referral connection. So if somebody does do that for you, then I would also recommend that you make sure that they fully 100% really know how much you appreciated that referral. So what can you do to make them feel the love, right? Perhaps you send them a quick little video letting you know how much it meant to you that they remembered you and referred you that potential client. I'm a big believer in the win-win-wins. Not everybody's moved by money, but I'm just like, well, why not throw a little money at it? So anytime somebody does a referral for me, I'm very happy to do like a revenue share commission back to them, whether they ever signed up with my affiliate program or not. I'll just let them know that that's available to them. And I will say, hey, look, I got some money for you. I just need you to kind of go in and create an account real quick so that accounting wise, I can account for it. But hey, I'm excited that you made this happen for me. And I just want to bless you with this commission. Some will say, oh, I didn't do it for the commission, but hey, it's nice. Go ahead and throw it at me. It's all good. Or they can say, well, why don't you just donate that towards your foundation? And that's great too. But either way, you are connecting with them and letting them know how much you genuinely appreciated what they did. And guess what? They're going to just keep on doing it because now all of a sudden you made them feel even better about what they already did to make you feel better. And it's just like this wonderful win-win circle.
Okay. No, that definitely great way to look at it. Appreciating people, letting them know is key. And one of the things I find is, a lot of business owners are really terrible at telling people what they do. And it's hard for someone to refer you if they don't quite understand what you do, or or they're not, you talk so much or you say things that don't resonate with them. So they don't listen, they don't understand it, they don't feel that you, that they can refer you because they don't know exactly what you do. I usually work with people and kind of lay out a 60-second commercial as a way to make them focus on, keeping it concise and having a format so that, you follow the format, and, following the format gets you a communication that it, hits them in the right way. You know your business, but you got to explain it in a way that other people can. What types of things do you talk to people about, or how do you help people be able to communicate what they do more clearly and concisely?
Well, if you are where you have multiple services that you provide, what kind of an umbrella can you put them under? And then what kind of a problem solution statement can you use to help paint that picture? Again, it's about painting pictures in people's mind's eye, because typically people want to put you into a category. Oh, they're a business coach, or they're a marketing provider, but they may not know what that really means, but they're going to try and categorize you in a way. So it really does help to know whom you're talking to, like know your audience, obviously, because your intro might be able to shift. So like I wear multiple hats, right? I have a software development side of my Revealio company, and I have a media and marketing side of one company. That's two very different arms. But then I also have a nonprofit, and that nonprofit has 3 different programs. So I have to be very selective on how I show up when I'm introducing myself, because I need to know, am I wearing the Tech with Heart hat today? And am I focusing on the entrepreneurial program, or am I talking to potential donors to support our student apprenticeship program within the Tech with Heart network, or I'm sorry, Tech with Heart Foundation, the nonprofit organization. See, I even get tripped up. So it's super important for you to know like what hat you're wearing in that moment, and then try to come up with a descriptive, like I'm just going to give you my little pitch for the entrepreneurial program within Tech with Heart. So 90% of small business owners struggle to embrace technologies, and they don't know who to follow, what to pay attention to, or who to trust to work with. So what Tech with Heart has done is created a nurturing, learning environment and a community of heart-centered, forward-thinking entrepreneurs, so we can grow alongside one another, and experts come to the table sharing their insights, and then we can work with them if it's a right fit for our business, right within the Tech with Heart community. So hopefully that helps people understand what the Tech with Heart Network does, right? But yeah, it's really important to try to paint the picture of the problem and the solution in a manner so that you're not just introducing yourself. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm the CEO of Revealio. That means nothing to them. Zero. All it does is says, oh, she's kind of sort of a bigwig. But then again, I can say I'm the CEO of Revealio, and it's a super small company, and that's really not that credible for anybody, right? So you definitely want to say, hey, look, I help people gain visibility online, and do it in a way that it's disruptive and kind of creates that awe and wonder. So you're captivating audiences and getting them to want to talk to you more and get to know you more, and you impress the socks off of them within 3 seconds.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
No, that was really good. Clear and concise. With the format I use, I have 4 steps. So, the first steps create the need. So that's what you did, help people identify, the problem that you solve, and that may be a problem they have. And then you gave your solution. The other 2 steps I usually add on is give an example, because people love stories, and then do a hard close with a soft ask. So, that rounds it out, and, that helps figure out if you're going to go to the next, if they're ready to go to the next step and what that next step might be. So, very important to be able to be clear and concise and talk in terms of solutions. Definitely everybody listens to the same radio station. I'm sure you've heard of that before. You know which station that is?
Oh, I'm not quite sure I'm following. So if you want to go
Okay.
ahead and explain that, Andrew.
It's WIIFM. So what's in it for me?
Nice.
So that's
So
what they're
true.
looking for when you're talking.
That's why when I go to networking events, I would so much rather ask them about themselves before I just start introducing myself. If somebody says, well, what do you do? And I could just say, well, why don't you tell me first what you do? I just kind of flip it if I can, because then I will cater my response after what I hear.
Okay. And how did you learn that? Where did you learn that from?
Just years of networking and, being a part of masterminds and marketing masterminds, and just, learning how to be a better listener so that I'm able to cater the message to that particular person at that time. Because augmented reality was the first thing I brought to the table in the online business world, and it was super unique. And so if I was going to demonstrate my business card coming alive, but they just told me that they were in real estate, I would specifically say, as a real estate agent, aren't you trying to differentiate yourself constantly as to why homeowners should choose you over their friend, right? That is also a real estate agent. Well, this is something that could potentially help you differentiate yourself by simply sharing your story and your value, but through a unique mechanism, augmented reality.
Okay. Excellent. So, 1 hour is just not enough time, but we're coming up on the hour. So, one thing I always ask the guests to do is, we cover a whole bunch of stuff during the hour. So, it's hard for people to remember everything, but really, if there's 3 key points that people should take away and they can actually start working on tomorrow, what might those be? So if you want to take a second to sort of think about those 3, take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and have you share that, because that's always very valuable. One thing I want to give people heads up on is, we've been doing an event for entrepreneurs and business owners called the Power Breakfast for the past 10 years. And, it's really made a difference for a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners. So our next one is going to be October 28th. So, put that on your calendars. It's going to be in Newark, New Jersey, but we'll also live stream several of the sessions. So it's, something that you can participate either way. Of course, it's way better to be there, but you can still get valuable information and knowledge through the sessions. So I'll take a quick second. We'll do a 1-minute video about what the Power Breakfast is, and then we'll come back with Michelle, and she's going to share 3 key things that you can take away and really put to work tomorrow for your business. If you are looking to increase revenues, improve profitability, and or obtain financing for your business, you need to check out the Power Breakfast and Small Business Pro conferences. My name is Andrew Frazier. One of the things we're here to do is supercharge your day.
Today's Power Breakfast has really been a phenomenal experience. I think it's exactly what business owners need, some true guidance of people who are genuine and really are leading them in the true direction of business growth and expansion.
The Power Breakfast is so important for the entrepreneurial community because it gives the various business people who come together an opportunity to interact and also do some business.
These events, hosted by Andrew Frazier, President and COO of Small Business Like a Pro, will supercharge your day.
All right, we're back here with Michelle Calloway. We've been talking about key ways that you can market more effectively by using disruptive strategies to make sure that you get noticed. There's a lot of things you can do, but you can only do so much because you only have so much bandwidth and capabilities. But Michelle's going to share 3 things that you need to make sure you're doing and you can do tomorrow to really help with your marketing and sales success. So, Michelle, take it away.
All right. So the 3 things that I feel are most important for business owners to keep in mind when whatever strategy they decide to embrace is, how are you making people feel? How are you making your target audience feel? How are you making your customers feel? How are you making your past customers feel? That is so important. Then what can you do to show people, not talking about telling them what you do and how you can help them, but what are you doing to show people how you can help them? So think painting the picture in people's mind's eye, show them. And then how are you rewarding people for engaging with you, your brand, your content, or any of those different platforms that you're using to get your message out there? How are you rewarding potential clients? How are you rewarding existing customers? And how are you rewarding past customers? Those are things to keep in mind to keep people engaged and to get them to continue to just be brand ambassadors for you for years and years and years.
That was short and sweet, but perfect. I mean, all those things, it's about people and, helping them to know, like, and trust you. Definitely these are things you picked up, but, one source to learn a lot of these things I've found is Dale Carnegie, his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And, he teaches you a lot of things around building relationships, which is key. And, the other thing that I'm sure you're great at, and when I was in business school, you go, it feels like you're interviewing for 2 years. But one of the people I was interviewing and got to know, he was like, oh, you're not going to have any problems because you're good at following up. So a lot of people don't follow up. So if there's one thing that you can do to go along with that, is you need to follow up, because you may not be there when they're ready to buy, but when you follow up, that might change the case. So once again, Michelle, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. You shared some valuable points. I'm getting ready to eat dinner and it's like 9, Fortunately, you're in California, so your stomach's probably not growling as much as mine is. But thanks again for doing that. You're doing great things. Wish you much success. If you can, hang out for a few minutes as I close this out, and we'll go from there. So, once again, just want to thank people for joining us tonight. Michelle, very knowledgeable and great points and valuable information that she's sharing. So, very happy about that. Appreciate everybody's comments, any questions. We do this for you. So we appreciate you participating, because that's what it's all about. Before we go, one of the things that's important to share is, we're available here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, but that's not it. We're also in the metaverse. So every week, our show is broadcast on STEM City USA. So we're embracing technology, just like Michelle. And, it's important to, learn new things. And, so that's been a great experience. And, each week we have great guests. So next week, what we're going to be talking about is really how to create a high performing culture. One important thing is, a lot of business owners, especially small business owners, don't necessarily know what the culture is, and don't know that it's their job to create or influence to make the culture what it needs to be to make your business successful. A lot of times, if your business isn't working the way you want it to, it's actually probably your fault, because you're responsible for everything. One chapter in my book is called, "Is It Me or My Employees Crazy?" That's a culture thing. So this was an opportunity to sort of really learn what culture is, how it works, and really looking forward to having our guest and conversate about that next week. So once again, thanks for joining us, and always remember, at the end of the day, the more that you know, the faster your business will grow.
Thank you for listening to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbpro.u.com.